Alrighty then, good afternoon all you fantastic people, Silver Dragon here, coming at you with a first look at Commonhood, a interesting little game that we actually previously had taken a look at during the Steam Next Fest. It had a demo, and it was rather interesting at the time. I did feel like some parts of it were a little janky and needed some work, but overall it felt like a really interesting experience and a different kind of take on the survival-esque to a point game, or colony kind of building, I should say. Now, I should mention that I did actually get the game for free, so I'm going to throw that out there. So, yeah. No actual, like, what's the word? Oh, I can't even think about it right now. My brain is failing me. I do apologize. Now, I have already played quite a bit of this. I could not, for the life of me, figure out how I was going to kind of cut certain parts up, because there are certain aspects of the game that are still a little bit confusing. This is not a game that necessarily holds your hand, so you do got to figure out how to do some things yourself. So I think what I'm going to do is, any section where I'm producing a lot of goods or just researching stuff in bulk, I'm going to just cut that out. I'll show the initial bit of it, then I'm going to cut that out, and we're just going to try and keep this hopefully around an hour at most. Hopefully less than that, but we'll see what happens, and I'll just kind of try my damnedest to keep all that kind of, you know, like slow background shit in the background. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop on in here. We're going to hop right into the story and move along here. I didn't choose to leave my home, but I also didn't choose to start from scratch. I always thought that everything was going to be alright. This kind of thing didn't happen to people like me. After my dad passed, I found no way, to pay back the hospital bills. Nobody seemed to care. They were ready to take everything away. Needed to find a new start and build something they could not touch. Didn't want to depend on them anymore. Indeed. And there's a lot of aspects of that kind of show up in the story here. Couldn't leave my home before seeking the place where both my parents worked. Factory fills me with memories of my childhood. It's been abandoned for years now. And I should also mention, before I forget, because I already failed to do this before starting, this game does come out tomorrow on the 10th, so it will be releasing then, so I will be trying to get this up today, so you guys can get a good preview of this and see if it's something that you would enjoy. And if it is, I'll have everything linked in the description and everything else, so feel free to check out the Steam page and pick it up if it interests you. Proper introductions are necessary, yes, because we are not alone. We are not the only one here. Oh, what a world, what a world. Alright. Now, immediately I can press H to bring up the help menu. It gives you the different kind of, you know, background and some basic controls and stuff like that. So tab or B will open up the inventory. And then again, we got missions that we have access to from our backpack tab. So a lot of things it does tell you. Some things it does not tell you, like how to take one item, 10 items, take half of an item. And it's shift and right click generally for most of that. But anyway, so some of the basics it covers, some of it does not. Another thing I'll probably cut out is when I go around and kind of start grabbing all of the different, because each of these little stacks, the stockpiles, you can get soil from the soil piles. There's some outside as well you can gather. There's stockpiles of wood just kind of scattered around and different components all over the ground. But let's go ahead and chat with everybody right now. And there is still some jankiness, but the game has been updated a couple of times since I started attempting to play it. So some of that jankiness is definitely going to be looked at. Actually, I never even noticed this crate last time. But yeah, let's collect a little bit of all that. Okay, so if I'm moving and I stop moving, like I let go now, it still continues along that path. So there's a little bit of jankiness to it. But it's still being updated and worked on, so even though it is releasing tomorrow, but it's not unbearably bad. Aren't you too young to be on the streets already? I'm 20. That's quite young. Are you a junkie or something? No! Relax, just asking. How'd you end up here anyway? Dad used to work here in this place before he passed. What's going on here? Sorry to hear about your dad. We're squatting this factory, ain't that obvious? Squatting? Legally occupying this abandoned property. Legally? Well, it should be. Nobody's using this place, and we don't have anywhere to go. You mean everyone else is homeless? We don't call ourselves homeless. This is our home. People come and go. We are like family. You're welcome to stay. Thanks. I don't have anywhere to go either. We know you don't have to explain yourself. Welcome to the common. Indeed. What are you doing here? They kick you out as well? Yeah, I don't know where to go. Many people will pass through this place. Make yourself at home. What's your plan? Plan? Yeah, you don't plan to stay here forever, do you? I don't know. My advice is make yourself useful. The more a farmer myself. Anyway, I might want to talk to Ash. I'm Mo, by the way. Hello there. Another one who fell through the cracks. Cracks? Wake up, girl. You're here because they don't care about people like us. You're not making enough money and keeping your mouth shut. You end up in a place like this. That's not my story. My dad passed away and I lost the house. Couldn't pay the hospital bills. Exactly. Get yourself together. Everyone here is making themselves useful. I see that you have a tent. Why don't you place that somewhere? You'll need a place to sleep. We'll talk again later. The common, indeed. Where have I heard that name before? Or that word before? Must be a way to explore this place. I still have memories when my parents used to bring me here when I was a kid. It looks so different now. Perhaps I should set up a temporary shelter here and see what I can find. Go ahead and unpack some of the things I brought. I'm sure the table saw would be useful. And we'll talk to you as well. Hello, Alcott. Finally have a proper introduction. My name is Alcott. I'm Nikki. You seem to have a lot of interesting junk here. Junk? Nothing is junk. If you have a use for it. Looking for something? Maybe. Can I see what you have? Sure, everything's for sale. If you find something interesting, even better. If you build something, I can probably get a good price for it. Good price? Go to the flea market every once a week. I can sell things you bring to me. These have been selling really good lately. I'm a bit too old to keep building them. Use the blueprints to make chairs and I'll buy them from you. Indeed, and then we have all these lovely components that we can buy. But we do not, as of the moment, really need any of that. So we're just gonna... Okay, so this does nothing. This, as far as I know, does absolutely nothing. We have... The only spaces we can build in are the ones covered by this border. Certain borders have, like, there's these junk piles here, which I'll clear out in a second. But let me go ahead and get kind of set up here to start with. So I'll hit tab, open up my inventory. I'll put that chair blueprint off to the side for now. We're going to grab our tent, put that in 1. We're going to grab these books. This is important. This is something that the game doesn't tell you, and I didn't find that out until a good 10 or 15 minutes in. But yeah, just drag that in here. Drag down the generator, drag down the table saw. Alright, let's go ahead and set this up right over here. So the books are how you actually research the different, your different sections of, what the hell, unlocks, essentially. So you have to actually play, and it actually looks like cinder blocks when you're placing it, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so this is how you research. If you don't place these, you can't research. And the actual notification for that, if I go to H now, all of a sudden now it says, hey, research. But if you don't place these books, it doesn't tell you how to research. So that was kind of an annoying thing that it took me a while to figure out why I couldn't research, or why the research wasn't kind of continuing on. Now again, if you hit R, you'll turn this. Shift R will just kind of give you the major degrees, which is all I ever really use is Shift R. Let's pop you down there. We'll pop down our lovely little generator. Now one thing I'm not as much of a fan of is the generator is using fuel even if you're not using it, which is kind of annoying. Like you can see right now, the fuel is very slowly dropping even though it's not being used. That's some serious table saw. Where'd you get that? It's my dad's, or it was one of the few things I get in the truck after the eviction. Do you work with wood? Dad taught me. I used to build furniture in our garage. Could be really handy here. Indeed. How? You can cut some 4x4s out of raw lumber? I guess. What do you need those for? I've been trying to start a farming operation here, but I need some raised beds for farming as this place still has lots of polluted soil. 4x4s make the perfect to-build planters. Sure, I can help you with that. Great, I'll need 40 4x4s. Indeed. So, in order to do that, the interesting is as well, like, the table saws, like, all of the things that you place will deteriorate as you're using them. The interesting way is that how you actually kind of repair them. And in this case, it's like, for the table saw, it requires saws. It doesn't show up right now, or saw blades. It will probably when I actually use this. Let me select the 4x4 recipe here, and then we'll drag the raw lumber in. But you essentially, once this gets down to like whatever percent, 0, whatever, you would grab a saw blade from your inventory, slap it on here, and it would then repair that. Now I can go ahead and hold build here, and that will start building all of the materials that I will need to kind of get stuff done. Now, I'm actually going to stop that right now. Just drag that into my inventory to start with. Check the generator here. So, likewise, if I want to refill the generator, when it allows me to, it's going to say, hey, you need to drag a gasoline tank into here, and that will refill the generator. So, you're not really repairing it, per se, but you're just kind of replacing the component that it needs. In the generator's case, it's fuel. In the table saw's case, it's the blades. Very nice woodworking. Where'd you learn that? Let me guess, your dad again. Hanging out with him in the garage, we built a treehouse together. Nice project to learn. Now I can get started with my farming operations. Want to help me out? Indeed. Here's the blueprints. Think you can follow it and build a planter. Shouldn't be a problem. You'll need 4x4s and soil. You'll find them scattered around. Indeed. On it. Now, we only have until 9 p.m. After 9 p.m., you can't really talk to people as much. You can't really do any building or anything. You just kind of have to go to sleep. And you can use that time to basically get back to the location you were at previously. Or get back to here if you're elsewhere. Now, right here is our food cellar. So this is where we store all the actual like cans of food. And this is how people eat and stay happy. Let me go ahead and gather up all this stuff. So these rubble piles need to be cleared. Now, in order to do that, we simply walk up to them, hold left click, and we will begin the process of clearing the rubble. And someone will come up and talk to me about that here momentarily. Now, certain sections are blocked off. We don't have access to them right now. Part of that is through quest lines. Others are part of something like this right here. I cannot clear this until I get a pickaxe. I have not as of yet even acquired a pickaxe yet, so I don't know how far down the lines I have to get. There are also certain things, and you're going to talk to me there. So I dig into the debris, looking for something. Thought I could use the space for farming or even build some structures. Who's going to do all that? Well, I will, I guess. Maybe some people might want to help later. Good luck with that. People here don't have much energy or hope around here. Also, there's some of the text which doesn't make sense. You know, some text gets repeated, and some of it's even just missing at times. Go ahead and clear all the debris. It'd be nice to have more space here. Another thing that the game doesn't tell you is that one of the workbenches you have to look for is literally right here, the generic workbench. You can't use it right away because you need to find these components here to repair it. The soldering iron, I already know I can buy that, and the scrap metal I have right here. But I can't do that until I get these initial ones. Now, some of them, like the electronic tools, you can even find them up above on the landing, so you don't necessarily... Yeah, saw you working the workbench is yours. We share things here in the common. Feel free to use it. Alright. Used to be able to repair machines and build tools here. Take care of our needs, you know. Not having to depend on shiny new objects all the time. The workbench looks broken. Haven't been able to get the parts to repair it. I can fix it. Be great. Give us more independence, allowing us to build more tools. I'll give it a shot. Talk to Alcott. I will need to buy one thing from him, which I will do right now. So let's go shop. We're going to buy the soldering tool. Go ahead and just buy that immediately. That's all I want. Nothing else I really need right now. So the other thing, and I'm just going to go up and grab it right now, because there are other things up here that I can scavenge, which are on the higher floors, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that off of the recording. But one of the items you can get is right here, the welding tools, the electronic tools, and then you can loot this crate for some of the other stuff that you need. The other floors, I'll just go up and loot those later off recording so that we can kind of, you know, save the amount of time that just running around and scavenging everything is going to take. Likewise, I will kind of clear all this off recording. The other thing of note is this bin right here. This is the generic stockpile for the common. And also let me actually pause this for a second, because one thing as well that I'm not as much of a fan of is while you're in the menu, time is still going by, which is kind of annoying, but that is just how it is. So you got to bear in mind that while you're going in, like, well, let me take a look, see what I have, move things around, maybe grab a blueprint and place in my inventory, time is still ticking by. So be aware of that. So yes, the other thing is we have, on the top right corner, you can see we have 100 water. That is all contained in this guy right here, the water tank. So we can take our empty jugs and fill 100 of them a day. I'm not 100% sure if the water gets like completely filled every day, but it seems like it at least mostly does. Or no, it even regenerates just over time. So we can, as long as we have jugs, we can store a lot of water. But let's go ahead and talk to this guy right here. Used to be a remarkable place. It once gave jobs to hundreds of people. Now it's just a shelter for wildlife. Sinkhole made the whole factory collapse. The accident killed several people. Cause for the whole factory to go bankrupt 15 years ago. It's all over the news. You probably heard about it. What's with the masks? Is this place toxic or something? No, they belong to the people that used to work here. You should ask the others. Strange. Why are you staring across the sinkhole? Are there people out there? How do they cross? There's a lot of people across. How do they get there? Impossible to know. They don't seem to want to be disturbed. Are the others over there? Possibly. You're not very helpful, are you? The ant farmer. Yes. We also have a little section down here, which has, again, another small buildable space. And a bunch of different objects that we can grab. We got some gas here. That's not really anything, unfortunately. We got this little stockpile of components here. We are getting close to 9 o'clock, so I will rush back upstairs. Unfortunately, we can't really jump. We can crouch, but we can't jump for obvious reasons of keeping us from skipping locations. But let me move on to the actual... not blueprints, research. Here we go. I think this actually does pause the game. So this is our research screen. So we need to select which research we want to work on right now. I know we're going to require this soon, so I'm going to select that just to begin with. We also have different skills we can work on, like removing debris faster, researching faster, and damn, it doesn't pause while you're in that menu. That's annoying, so we'll have to show this in the morning. But yes, so this is how you access your different research, culture, cooking research. You can drag that down. We got preserved foods and so on, ecology for composting, worms, and all that jazz. Everything's in here. But this all does take time as well, which obviously we are now fresh out of. So at this point, we're basically just needing to pass out. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and sleep. Currently, we're the only one by the fire, all alone. And it'll go through this sequence at the end of every day where it tells you, hey, you did this much and that much of whatever. Now, right now, eventually you will also acquire people that will be able to help you and will do jobs for you during certain times of the day. Now, as I continue doing the actual missions that they give me, or that they have given me, such as building the planter, the chairs, clearing the debris, and all that, we will unlock them, and we will now need to kind of supply them with like a warmer place to sleep and stuff like that. And let me actually pause this for a second so it's not going to continue ticking away the time. So at that point, and I'm not sure if they use food now, or if it's just a matter of they use food once they're quote unquote part of the community. So in an effort to kind of zip through this section, I am going to do a bit of research. I'm just going to kind of mass do a bunch of research and then clear away a lot of the debris around, go up the flight of stairs here, clear out everything there, kind of just generally clear everything, and then once I get to the last bit of debris and everything's kind of researched to where I want it, we'll come back. Let me actually get this generic generic workbench here built. That's now repaired. Someone might come to me and talk to me about this, and yeah, we have the community storage over there as being mentioned now in the actual tutorial. But yes, researching, you just click on this, you're researching it as is, you can hit space to fast forward, and that will allow you to speed through the process of just kind of researching this. Obviously, time will tick by. But regardless, I am going to hold off here for now, skip through this section, and I will be right back once all of that has been done. Alrighty then. As you can see, we are now on day 5, or I should say the beginnings of day 5. I have gone through the tech tree a little bit here. I've started researching cooking. I managed to get up to advanced electronics, and we also got up to heavy timber, since I know I'll be needing that relatively soon, so that should allow us to very quickly kind of zip through a lot of the stuff that we need to do here now. One thing I should mention as well is that not only can you, and as I suspected in the top right corner, until you actually get people in your community, they do not take food. Which is pretty much a good way of when you first start this off, you might want to spend the first couple of days just researching, just kind of gathering all of the materials from everywhere together. And you can see that obviously I have a lot more materials on hand. A lot of fuel, we got some blades, I went outside and got some more of the soil from the soil piles, a lot of raw panel. I made a whole 2,000 4x4s because Where may not use that many, but we're definitely going to use a lot, so it was just a good thing to create that many of them. And a whole bunch of just various other material that we acquired as well. Let me go ahead and put the last of the canned food away here. Now, oops, I'm taking it out instead of putting it in. So, one thing that I did notice is that as the workbench deteriorates, so as this goes down, and you can see I can actually repair it now, and I've already repaired it once, the speed at which you're able to craft things changes. You can see what the rate it's going right now. And now if I fix it, it's slightly faster. So as you can see, it does, the repair level of the workbench does affect the speed. I'll also have to, I'll make a bunch of 4x4 beams and something. You know what? Let's get that done ahead of time, because I know I'm going to need a bunch of them. So let me just go ahead and produce a small pile of those right now, even though I'm not gonna spend too much time doing that. Again, I'll do all the mass crafting off recording, just so that I kind of, you know, don't waste that amount of time sitting here and waiting, because this isn't exactly as entertaining to watch. The numbers like slowly go up as we're slowly kind of crafting away at these things. You know, that's just like, no, let's not go there. So I'm going to say 200 of these should be fine. We'll stop it at that, and that should be more than sufficient. There we go. 92, and that's 200 right there. Perfect, good enough. Moving on. Moving on with life. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish clearing out the debris here, which is almost completely done. Perfect. Mission complete. Collect. Thank you. She's going to come over here and chat with me now. Might as well make it easier. Now, one dangerous thing as well is if you try to talk to them first, they're going to say, what do you need? So it doesn't actually work. They have to come to you for the quest to then be acknowledged as completed. That was hard. You don't give up easy, do you? Don't have anything else to do? Might as well make something out of this? Maybe I underestimated you. Why are you here anyway? Nostalgia, I guess. There was also a text line that I did miss and didn't end up recording from the other guy when I completed the workbench repairs. So, yeah. Parents used to bring me here when I was a kid. Thought maybe I could find a place where they used to work. Do you know where I can find the administration wing? Not really, no. But listen, you're going to be poking around. Be careful. People end up in this place for all sorts of reasons. Not everybody is so friendly. Are there more people here? They come and go. I've seen people on the other side of the sinkhole. Thanks for the advice. Anything else I can do to help? Talk about building a planier machine, which I can now do. Maybe we can help with that. Now that we have all this space, we can improve our workshop. Indeed. Might be need to build a metal workbench first. With that, I'll have the tools to build other machines. Indeed, which is something I will have to do. So first things first, it's time to learn about building with blueprints. So if I hit 8, also you can find blueprints out in the world as well, which is why I now have the blueprint for this simple table. You can find them just laying around. They do look like blueprints to a point, but yes. Let's go ahead and select this planter. We're going to kind of position it in the corner here. Let's see if I can... yeah, that's good enough. Good enough. We'll just kind of slap that down right there. There we go. So when you place down a blueprint, it then gives you all the various like materials. Let me actually right-click to get out of that menu for a second so I can drag the soil here, which I will need shortly. It'll tell you the various materials and kind of how to build it. So now if I hit 1 to go to my 4x4 column, which again I only have 90 right now on my bar, but I can grab more if I need it, which I might. And just click here and lift up, and it will then fill in the design for us. There we go. 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, same thing. And you can also build in increments as well. So I could have, say, 68.030, like 0.30, whatever, for my planks. So you can use up like if I went 0.67 feet right here, then you can see I now have 63.33. Obviously, we're going to do the whole thing, but anyway. Now, soil is 2 blocks deep. So when I build with that, either way, it's going to be 2 blocks deep, and then I can extend it to fit this kind of space. But it needs to be 4 square foot for anything to be planted inside of it. A perfect example is something that I will do like right here. I am going to build my own quote-unquote extension to this. So we're going to make this. Oh, he's going to talk to me first. Let's just... And if you fuck up, you can just right-click to pack it. You got some nice crafting skills. I enjoy building my hands. Geese helps me forget how I ended up here. Everyone here has a story like yours, kind of a thing that's happening to everyone. It still hurts. Sure does, but farming can really help the heal. Helpful to heal. I can see that, so what can we do? Start by planting some potato seeds and watering them. Use the planter you built. Here's some seeds. You can always talk to Cedric in the back. He's always collecting seeds and talking the end of the world and stuff. I'm sure he can sell you some. He is, but we don't have access to him yet. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make, let's see. There we go. So that's 12 square foot. I'm going to go, let's see. I'm going to make this 16 square foot. So this is going to be a large extension. You can see it there just by selecting this. I can see that it is. And I honestly don't even have to frame this. I don't. But I'm going to anyway. So what I'm going to do is, let's actually go ahead and do that. Let's create one right here. Go up 1 foot. Same thing here. Go up 1 foot. And then again, we start off in the back here. We'll extend that back 8 foot. Again, 8 foot. We'll fill in right here, 2 foot. Fill in here, 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot. Start in the back here, 8 foot. 8 foot. And finally, again, 8 foot. Right, now that I have this built, I could just plant on it. But what I'm going to do instead is hit G. If it'll let me right-click off that. G, here we go. And G allows you, puts you in group mode. This allows you to take anything that you've just built randomly and turn it into a blueprint. And I like how it does it, because if you left-click right here, let me actually see if I can get this big soil too. Oh, let me, I started over here, so I should be able to get it that way, I think. Either way, I can left-click all of these bits first. There we go. This part is being difficult for whatever reason. There we go. So now that I have all of that selected, I can hit Enter, and that creates a new blueprint. And I'm going to call this a... Garden plot extension times 4. Save and view. So if I save that, now I can see that this is just an extension to an existing, so that way I'm not wasting another like wall on one side. Or I could even add that onto here, and then again, I would not be wasting a wall on that side, so I could just keep extending and extending and extending. And this as well, I believe, is saved locally, so you can take this, give it to your friends, or give it to anybody, and possibly even upload it to Workshop, though I'm not 100% sure on that. Not 100% sure. And then people can just kind of pick it up and do it themselves, use the same thing themselves, which is nice. Now, let us go ahead and start planting some potato seeds. Alright, we take this jug of water, and we go ahead and water those, which of course empties all of the jugs in our hand, so now we're going to want to head on over here and get some more water, fill up our old containers. And we would have to drag those back to our bar to kind of add them there. Now he's going to come over and chat with us. Those potatoes look perfect. We'll need a lot more, though. Indeed we will. I see this farming as hard work, but I like it. Indeed. Me too. Recently seeing something... I really enjoy seeing something grow, I should say. Can I ask you something personal? How did you end up here? It's a long story. Maybe for some other time. Sure. Why don't we set up a large farm to feed everyone? Then we could eventually sell our products in the farmer's market. Indeed. I like that. Count on my help. And now he joined. And again, we unlock a whole bunch of additional things. So now that we've completed that, he joins us and we are able to make use of his labor. The problem being that he also will... he only works for a limited time of the day, and now he's going to start consuming food and also complaining that he's cold. So we'll have to eventually supply him with a better shelter. If I go into the community tab here now, I can now select where he sleeps. I can see that he's idle, how much he trusts us. I can see his traits, so he's much more efficient when it comes to farming and cooking. And that's about it. He's also resilient and empathetic. And we can see the different skills that he has right here and the things that he likes. So these are things that we'd want to either give him or put in his room potentially down the road. Now, whoops, didn't mean to clear out of that. It's almost getting close to 8. So right now we're going to click on this. This is his job tab. So right here, this is where we can assign him a job, and that does pop up on here, which I'm going to ignore for now. So I can have him build, I can have him garden, and all of the stuff in between. For now, I'm going to have him farm. Let's go ahead and, whoops, let's go ahead and hit the button, little dot here, and drag that down. So between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m., he will now farm. Now, he won't just farm as is. I have to actually supply him with the resources to do so. So I'm going to go into the stockpile here. I'm going to hold right-click and shift, and I'm going to drag half the water here away. Let me actually drag a bit more than that. So I'll give him 9 water, and I unfortunately do not have any potato seeds yet, but he will use this to water the plants. And then once we get the seeds, he should hopefully put some of them in here, and we will be able to then kind of work from that. Now, moving on to the next objective that we need right now. We need to build a chair. This will allow us something to sell. Let me go ahead and try and make this quick because it's already getting close to 9. I don't know if I'll actually be able to build this in time. Oh, no, I screwed that one up. So I'm probably not going to be able to build this in time. Oh, I did it. But we're not going to be able to sell, I don't think. Nope. Too tired to sell. Damn. Well, we missed it by that much. Let's go ahead and clear away all of these, though. Status effects, yep. Your crew members can experience a series of emotions or afflictions, such as being too cold, being happy, just absolutely hating life, you know, all that stuff. And then we had to build certain things to kind of make them happier. But let's go ahead and pass out. And of course, I could have him do multiple jobs during different time slots. One thing I noticed too is if I hold skip for this, it doesn't really skip it. It just seems like it maybe speeds up this cutscene a little bit, but that's about it. Blueprints created! Okay, Mo is cold. Mo is motivated. Because he's doing something that he likes, so he becomes motivated. So you definitely want to assign them to the things that they're skilled at. Alright, let's talk to Alcott here. I'm going to say we're going to go shop, we're going to sell, and we are going to sell this chair that I made. Sell a chair! Congratulations! Contracts I can pull up. We don't have any contracts right now. The flea market. I can sell items you make in a flea market. I'll take away anything you make of raw wood or the table saw. Indeed. And now we have a new contract for buying a van that will allow him to achieve larger goals over time. Which is quite nice. So the main goals we have now, if I go into missions, is to craft a planner. Create 3 motors. This was something that he actually did tell me to do, as one of the guys told me to do. So I can get him to join us by doing that. So let me actually do that very quickly here. So let's go electric motor, which is in this. We do have some gears and such, and I will grab some scrap metal here. Put all the wires and such in here. If I get the copper wire, that'll allow us to make that in here. Now let me actually go ahead and produce a bunch of this. Again, I'm going to try mass producing stuff off screen here per se, and we'll kind of go from there after I'm done that. But let me just get the initial kind of bit here done. I will also need another spare motor, so I want to make 4 of them, as I will need 1 extra for completing a specific project. Alright, good enough. So let's go ahead and make 4 of these. Obviously, this takes a little bit more time to construct. Let me just take 1 of those off there right now, and then we'll make 3 more to complete the quest and get him in our team. Because there's one other thing that we can do, which unfortunately looks like we're not going to have enough time. Maybe we might barely have enough time if I... Oops, I didn't even grab it out of there. Let me do that quickly. Still failed. Come on. There we go. Alright, because I'd like to at least get him to do this once. So we'll put this in here. Mission complete. So let's go see him so we can get him to join our team. Because one thing you can do is if I hit 9 to pull this up and build this chair again, what we can do is turn to order. So if I hit V, this is now been set up here for essentially somebody else to create. Good job on these motors. Your father taught you well. Think I can still improve. It's good for now. You should try selling some and buy some food. Food is always scarce here. People don't have food. They get frustrated and leave. Indeed. Back to original task. Why don't you try fixing that large crane? Ambitious. Not sure if I could do it. Don't need to fix the whole thing. Problems with the control panel. Something's not wired right. That's something I can do. It was always good with wires. My father didn't have the patience, so he always left that sort of thing to me. That sounds dangerous. Nah, I know how to keep things safe. Leave it to me. If you manage to fix the crane, you should be able to move some large items around, which would really help. Imagine we could do that with this place. Indeed. So one thing I'll do right now, though, is I'm going to actually go into the stockpile here. I am going to shift right-click and drag 1,000 of the 4x4 columns in here. So once I assign somebody to then basically construct stuff, they will take those resources and use it to, well, construct stuff. So let me go ahead and get this crane operational here. So we can hit repair. We can see it requires an electric motor, so I'll pop that in. It now requires a microcontroller, which is something that I did research to unlock, so we can do that. So let me run back over here quickly. And microcontroller, which requires a fuse, which we looted from various locations, capacitors, and resistors. So let's go ahead and build one fuse. And I'll take that. We're also going to build this metal workbench. It requires metal tools and a vise. We do have the vise. I do not believe that we have metal tools. We also need the raw panels. So let me go ahead and swap that out. So yes, I do have to buy the metal tools. So I'll go over to him. Shop. Let's see here. Metal tools. There we go. That's a whole 300 buckaroos. Oh boy. But we need it, so we need it. Plop that down there. 20 raw panels. Let me swap that around again. And boom. We got ourselves a metal workbench, which is also very important. Alright, so that, we're going to go ahead and slap this sucker. Again, using Shift R to kind of rotate that around exactly where I want it. Perfect. Let's go ahead and finish getting this done. Boom. Looks like I need to grab a couple of wires that I forgot to bring with me. So let's take half. There we go. Oh, and I missed a few components that I had lying around. And boom and boom. Done! We can now operate the crane, which we can move around as we wish here. It is a bit slow. Alright, perfect. Moving on. You did it! Told you I was good with wires, indeed. You bring in some good energy to this place. Blush. Ha! Don't be shy, it's true. This place has been a dump for years. As I said before, my parents used to work here. Been hoping I could look around to see if I could find some of the stuff they left behind. I have a lot of memories of this place. You will need to find a way to cross that sinkhole. We have explored this area, but there's no way around it. People say the factory is huge. Might be all sorts of things that we can use on the other side. Perhaps we can build a bridge. The crane can help us place it across the sinkhole. Indeed it can. Maybe that could do the trick. We'll need a lot of wood for that. Count with me. I'll help you out with building the bridge and exploring the factory. So he now joins the, you know, quote-unquote colony, per se. So we can click on him and see that he is a rebel. Very social. He's a skilled crafter and a skilled builder. So obviously we want him to be building. And you can see all the various things that he likes. So schedule-wise, we're going to add a job to build for him. And stretch that down. So in the morning, when he gets a chance, he's going to start building this chair for me. Which, actually, let's go ahead and queue up a couple of those so that he can actually get us a little bit of money. Alright. That being said, we now need to make the planer machine, which will allow us to unlock the next kind of bit of resources that we'll need to craft with. So we need 50 metal plates, welding tools, which I have. Some of these, which I actually need a few more electric wires and gears. And again, we already have some metal plates. We need 40 metal plates and then a bit of gears and the wire. So I'm just going to take those out entirely here. And then these take a while, as with anything else. Let's keep this at 100% so that we can keep the crafting speed up as fast as possible. So we'll make 40 of these, because again, I'm wanting to try my best to keep all of like the background crafting, or the crafting, to a minimum in the background and not have to waste too much time with that and keep things as simple as possible, because God knows I could just go for multiple hours and just kind of go crazy with it, but I'm going to try not to do that as much this time around. Let's go ahead and craft the planer. And that's mission complete, and we'll also unlock the last of the characters on this side of the bridge. So with this guy, we are taking basic, which I actually don't even have on me because I put them away. Machine was not easy, had to read some books to put it together. Impressive! So what do you plan to use this for? These machines can be used to make wooden panels. With panels, we can make floor platforms, walls, and rooms. We can probably use it for a bridge, too. A bridge? To cross the sinkhole, perhaps. Talk to Alcott about that. He might be able to help you. For now, do you think you could build a few floor modules? It'd be great to avoid the humidity. Let's get started with 4 floor modules. Mind if I use the planer for the bridge idea? Of course not. It's you build it after all. Indeed I did. So again, we have the alpha floor module now, so one thing that I could do is select it, place it, V. Select it, place it, V. And he will go ahead and construct these while I'm, busy in the morning. But the problem is, at the moment, let me actually take a couple, oops, shift right click, there we go. We do not have any of the plyboard at the moment, so he will not actually be able to make use of that. So again, select the recipe, put on the basic raw panels, and again, we just hold and craft a bunch of stuff away. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, maybe expand the garden area a little bit. I'm going to craft a whole bunch more of these materials, and then I'm going to pop back on. I doubt it's going to take more than a day, and we'll probably research cooking as well, just so I can kind of get that, slowly get that part advanced. But I am going to be making at least, I would say, 1,000, yeah, I'd say about 1,000 to 1,500 of this. But for now, this should be good enough to start with. There we go, so he'll be able to get started with that in the morning. Alright, so I am going to cut this off here then for now, and I'll be right back once we have collected the floor panels, got all these chairs collected, and I've produced a bunch of goods and researched a few more things. That way we're not spending too much time on that. Alright, until that moment. Alrighty then, so we are now on day 10. Now, there were a couple things that I did forget to mention, one of which is, if you right-click on any of the blueprints, they just disappear. Don't worry about it, they still exist, it's just they get shoved over to the blueprints menu here. Likewise, any custom blueprints that you make will also be stored here, and you can then again drag them straight from here right back to your bar or your inventory. So you don't need to waste any inventory space with them. You're, perfectly fine with it as is. Now, I have also gone through as well and did a bit more research, so all of the main kind of research and fabrication has been unlocked. For now, at least, some of our basic skills, we started working on some basic crafting. We did get Cooking 101 done. Problem being, I still cannot figure out how to make a cooking workbench. I haven't found that anywhere. Perhaps it's something we still have to wait for down the road. Likewise, we have composting. I haven't actually unlocked building a workshop for composting, at least not that I can find anywhere, so not 100% on that. We did also extend the garden, as you can see, and he's going crazy on all those potatoes. I did also get a low power warning at one point, which means that this is obviously to a point where we need to start dropping fuel tanks on there to so that we can keep using the table saws and such. So I did unlock a bunch of these other workshops that we can make. The generic workbench here, even though this looks different, is quite literally the exact same as the generic workbench over there. So do not bother creating that. You don't need an extra one of those. Just don't even worry about it. So Shiva needs 4 of these in order to actually complete her objective and basically get her on the team. So I'm going to do that right now myself. So let's actually just go ahead and go 4x4. Bam. Bam. Blammo. Blammo. And then just one little dab in each corner. followed by the actual panel here, and we stretch that, and it's done. And one more to go. So, again, pulling out the 4x4s, stretch it to the mark, stretch it to the mark. Perfect. And stretch. And done. Completed. Now where's she at? Let's go just walk near here so she can talk to us. What are the platforms for? They can be foundations for a better home for all of us. There's a wave of evictions out there and people naturally end up in this place. So we can build shelters, indeed. We haven't figured out how. Here are some floors and wall modules we've been working on. Maybe you can figure out how to put them together. Here's the blueprint we've been using. Have you ever built a house before? Does a treehouse count? I guess. Why don't you start with a prototype? Model we can use. I could just be, or be just a room, to be honest. We can build up from that. I'll do my best. Might be more than what we have been able to put together. If you lead the way, would be happy to help. This place needs your energy. Indeed. So now Ash joins the team. So she was the last of the three to join our lovely little team. And I can talk to them every now and then, so... But anyway, let's take a look at her. So, oops, community. So we can see that she's social, resilient, and a skilled researcher. So she will actually research things for us. Let's actually have her do that if we can. I will have her research. Doesn't matter what it is, just go ahead and research something. Let's actually, right now we're doing the crafting research, so I'll let her do that. Okay. Now, we have... Let's talk to him. That's me. I spoke with Ash about building a bridge across the sinkhole, said you might be able to help. I've been thinking the same thing quite some time. Unfortunately, would have had to need a planer to prepare to some wooden panels. But you see, we already have one. I built it myself. Oh dear, that's certainly convenient. So yes, been drafting ideas for a bridge, calculating the length of the sinkhole and shortest edge. Bridge needs to be built in sections. Each section uses a series of parts, so its task is no joke. Got it. Here are the blueprints. Once you finish the bridge sections with the railing, come on back. Alright, so we now have a couple of different blueprints. I don't know if she actually gave us a... Did she give us a mission for that? She did not actually give us a mission for the wall. So these are just something we can just throw together if we want to kind of make a room, per se. Which I will do at some point. I might even have him... You know what? Let me actually position... Let me get rid of this. I'm going to put a couple of these down and just have them make it. I found, personally, like this was a little wonky for me. I will build one of these myself. My shelf, apparently. Just to kind of give you an idea about what I mean when I say this is a bit wonky to build. So, takes the regular 4x4, so build up, starts on this side. This is the part I find wonky, like where exactly am I supposed to aim to kind of, you know, get this to... Nope, that's not it. Nope, there we go. But that's not quite what I want. Oh, come on. So you can see that some of these... Oh god, he's pushing me out of the way. He's trying to get to the build. I think if I aim slightly below it, that seems to get it, so that you can then stretch this. And we can just go straight to the wooden panel, stretch it down, and we got our wall module. Right. Let's go ahead and move on to the other modules. Clear that off my screen here. So, we need all three of these, so I'm going to need 2 of these. So let's go ahead and get that done. And again, it's being slightly problematic. Collect that. Get one more railing. Oops, too far. Boom, that's 2. Then we need one of these big suckers right here, and this is where we require the 4x8 beams. Let me get these out of there. There we go. Alright, so we'll stretch those suckers out there. Alright, now we've just got to extend the panels. And you don't actually have to have the panels selected either. Because it should automatically select the panels for you for the most part. If you mess up and you have to right click and remove it, you might have to replace them yourself. Okay, so now... And this confused me for a second. I was like, wait a minute, but I just built these different components. Why do I now have to rebuild the whole thing? But no, actually, if you look in the actual order, it does say it's just you're building the kind of edges of it, and then you will put the sections down. So you're not like wasting anything there. Alright, pack that up, and now we can go talk to him. Finish the bridge section. I can see how much work it will take to finish the whole bridge. Indeed, but this is good. I spoke with the others. It's in all of our interest to finish this bridge and see what we can find on the other side. Let's get to work. Cutscene, ho! What do you expect to find on the other side, Nikki? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. I have these vague memories. There was a little garden where I used to play. Mom would look at me from a window high from the administration wing. I hope you don't get disappointed. That was a fun session. Haven't seen everyone so motivated before. Agree. I like working with friends, indeed. You have brought something special here, Nikki. Here are all the bridge sections you need to put together the full bridge. You will need to clear a lot of space below the crane. Once you have the bridge in place, use the crane to lift it. Here's the blueprint for the entire bridge. Hope my calculations were right. Thank you for your help. See you on the other side. Let's actually go ahead and sell some stuff to him as well. Sell all the chairs that were created for us. Okay, so we now have the blueprint for the bridge. Now let me go ahead and clear these away. And of course all of the sections of the bridge to build it. Now this is, after all, a massive blueprint. Boom. Alright. Place all the sections here. Now this is something that confused me a little, because I was like, okay, use the crane to build the bridge. So you would think, well, okay, I have to clear away the... Because clearly it is meant to go across here. I have to clear away these somehow, so I would kind of maneuver this guy over to that. Oh god, let me actually get a view here proper. So I maneuvered these over to the... Let me actually lower the hook as well. I maneuvered these over to the actual, cement blocks in an attempt to hook them up and remove them one by one. But no, that's not actually how this is supposed to work. Oddly enough, it's quite literally, as you will see, ignore the blocks entirely and just go ahead and bring this lovely hook right over to the bridge. And we get ourselves a lovely cutscene. I wasted a little bit of time, like, wait, why can't I remove these? What's going on here? Where am I supposed to put this? And it was all a cutscene all along. And of course, magically now, those giant concrete blocks are just moved out of the way, so the bridge can just magically slide along here. Excellent. Boom. Beautiful. Drop the bridge. Drop the bridge. Eventually it'll drop the bridge instead of rotating it constantly. There we go. Huzzah! You did it! New tutorials, including one for automation. So eventually you can actually unlock robotic arms. And those will actually build things for you, which are quite nice. So rather than having people build stuff for you, the robots will. Like, for example, you can actually see him. He partially built up this right here. I don't think he's missing any components, but either way. Probably because it's already 8 p.m. Damn, that actually took a while, shockingly. So now we have a brand new section that we can go and explore and chat with some people. We got some new areas to clear, a couple new resources to find. We have a new stockpile in here, which is connected to the other stockpile. And we have Cedric, good old Cedric. It's already started. And of course, time is still going by while we're chatting. Well, it started. Been predicting this for years. What are you talking about? Being here knows no coincidence. Many more will come. The system's broken. Everyone's greedy out there. Everything is crumbling down. I have been right all along, but nobody listens. What's with the vegetables and bags of grain? Seeds! The answer is seeds. People cannot eat oil. When things break down, everyone will need seeds. I assume you could share some with me. Get them while they're cheap. When the collapse comes, seeds will be good as gold. So I can buy up a couple of different carrot seeds. Just buy a nice little variety of seeds, and I'll go throw them in the stockpile. We've got spices for cooking, cooking tools, wine. I can just buy straight canned food. There's another gas generator. I will need multiple gas generators if we end up using more power than what we have, but we obviously have not really done that, so it's not necessary. I can also talk to those two gentlemen there, but I'll save that for the morning. I'm too tired in it to even interact with the stockpile. So let's go ahead and pass out here again. Sleep. And again, if I try now, if there's four of us total around this lovely fire, if I hit skip, it's like, what's the point in the skip? Because it doesn't really skip that much time. You might as well just wait for this to kind of like go through. But whatever. Whatever. I digress. So plants are ready for harvest, so he will actually go and harvest all of those. Let me go into the stockpile here. I'm actually going to dump the rest of my water in there, along with all of the different seeds that we have collected. And also, our inventory is much larger than you would initially think, too. So we got a lot of room to work with if needed, per se. Right. Let's go ahead and run over here, and we can talk to some other people. And, of course, there's a lot of additional junk to then collect around here. But I'm just going to kind of zip through this area a little bit. And I'm not going to go too much farther than this for this first look, because, honestly, this is about far enough anyway. It gets you through some of the initial kind of hurdles that I stumble through, mainly with figuring out where all the different workbenches are. Again, I still haven't 100% figured out certain things, like where the hell is my cooking workbench? How am I supposed to craft that? Where's the option to craft that? And so on and so forth. So some things I still haven't figured out either myself. But hopefully we'll see more of that later. So you must be the others. I guess you've met some of our other members of our crew, madame. What's with the gas masks? I met a friend of yours. He said I should ask you. Oh, this. They belong to the poor old folks that used to work here. This is our way of sympathizing with their struggle. Our way? Yes, we are the ant farm. The ant farm? You've seen what has happened to the folks in this neighborhood. Without this factory running, they all fell prey to those vultures out there. Vultures? You know what I'm talking about. Don't play dumb, girl. You ended up without a home by design, like everyone else here, and many more will come. Someone has to do something. So what are you planning? I don't know where you stand, girl. I don't know if I can trust you. Why do you want to know? I just don't want anyone getting in trouble. Too late for that, no? Would you say ending up here is trouble? ... Nice bridge there. I guess this side is no longer private. How'd you guys cross? Go figure. Listen. If you see any cops coming this way, don't mention us. Cops? Why would there be cops here? You know you're illegally squatting this place, right? You don't think you can stay here forever without consequences, right? Haven't really thought this through. We might need to make a stand. I'm not looking for conflict. Are you gonna let them keep pushing you around? Got some more soil to collect. Stay out of the way, things might get messy. Mind your business, kid, let the adults handle this. And that's all they basically say at this point. Now, one thing that I'm kind of like so-so on from a design point is, as far as I'm aware, the like just loot piles, like something like this, do not refresh. I don't know if they will refresh eventually, but at the moment they don't refresh. So having them stay there after you've looted everything is kind of annoying, because it's like it just gets in the way. And it makes you think that maybe at some point there might be more there. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I'm not 100%, sure of that regardless. But at the moment, I've never seen them restock. Alright, let's talk with Ruby here. What is it? Sorry, I wasn't planning to disturb you. Well, mission failed. Just trying to find some materials to build a few things. Is there any way I can help you? Do I look like I need saving? I'm good on my own, so get out of my face. Hey, you don't have to be rude, just helping each other. Look, I don't know what you and your hipster friends are up to, but I'm not interested. A cold shoulder, new mission. How's it going? Any chance you want to give us a hand? We can help each other? Beat a kid, you don't want to make me angry. Alright, likewise, there's a whole bunch of stuff up there and around here to loot, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that and kind of finish checking out this new area here. And then we're going to probably call things there with that. The Pumping Grounds. Ah, yes. Remember that lovely garden she used to mention that we were walking around in? Say hello to the beautiful garden that she used to play in as a kid. Hey, it's Mark. I guess you were the source of all the noise. Guess so. What are you doing here? How'd you cross the sinkhole? Wow, so many questions. Let's say I enjoy my privacy. Wait a second. Aren't you Nikki? Do I know you? I thought you looked familiar. You're Hank's daughter, right? My father's not with us anymore. I see. I'm sorry to hear that. You and I used to play around here when we were kids. Our parents were busy working. Guess all the folks working on the factory had a death sentence somehow. My dad also passed away a year ago. They said it was the pollution in his lungs. Said the same thing about my dad. I'm afraid I don't remember much about my childhood. Everything seems a blur. It's okay, we're very young. No need to worry about this place anymore. These oil rigs have been stopped, and the vegetation has cleared the air. That's good to know. You seen those large oil pumps? Indeed. Wouldn't touch them if I were you. Why is that? I thought you could get some oil for our generators. Could help us bring some electricity to the place. Sounds a lot like the old folks that used to be here. Why do you think this place ended up being abandoned? Because of the accident, no? So what caused the accident? Look around you. This place couldn't handle these huge machines. The earth is unstable. After the pumping started, soon came the sinkholes and the explosion. We need power to make this place better. Up to you, but remember, I warned you. Why don't you use this pickaxe to scavenge around the larger debris? You might find something useful. Oh, so he's the one that gives me the pickaxe. Nice. How's the operation going? Few folks of similar stories to you and me. We're trying to see if we can improve our conditions by fixing this place up a bit. Places attract a lot of people. I've seen several others scattered around. Let's hope we can work together instead of everyone for themselves. Some people like myself like being alone. Some here have a lot of baggage. I don't want any trouble. But I see your point. I like your energy, Nikki. Thanks, Mark. I'm not much of a builder, but I can help by sorting up waste. Sorting out waste? Can probably generate some nice fertile soil from any organic waste you have if you build me a composting station. That would be useful. It's a deal then. Get me a composting station and I'll join your little gang. You know, if only I could figure out how to actually build one. And we actually see here again, right here, we have a food cellar. We've got the stockpile, a nice large area that we can work with here. I haven't 100% gone through all of this yet. So, yeah, this is basically as far as I have personally actually gotten in the game. So, yes, a lot of organic waste. Again, here is where you can find all of, like, the blueprints scattered around. Here's another one right here. So, we got a simple staircase. We've got the simple step, and so on and so forth. So, you can just find those kind of scattered around the world. You can collect them all up, and again, we can kind of... Oh, let me get back around here. It's a shame I just can't jump around this, but unfortunately gotta just walk around. And I believe the next section that... Ooh, there's a bit of gas hiding here. Next section that we'll need to access is via that crane there, which unfortunately I have as of yet not gotten running. We have another section here where we can grab some water for all of our lovely crops and such. Another area to access the overall stockpile, which is nice. And let's just go ahead and gather up some of the materials that we have around here. And then we'll just run right back to the starting area. I'm not going to bother clearing much of the debris here right now. I'm just going to kind of grab all of the main kind of large components. We got some more blueprints right there. There's the alpha planter, which is literally just a two-plot planter. But I've already made something a little bit better than that anyway. A couple more little random water jugs and other components just looted around, apparently. Just scattered around. Go ahead and just gather. Get Gather all that junk. Alright. Yeah, it's kind of sad. It's like they got way too greedy with this factory trying to pump up all that oil, and then not only did it end up killing people, but the pollution even ended up killing the people that used to work here anyway. Sounds like a lawsuit to me. But unfortunately, instead, people just got kicked out on their ass, and here we are. Oh boy, there's a life lesson there somewhere. Alright, let's collect up some water here. For what little water we can actually collect, considering we only really got the one additional jug. I'll chuck that in here for him to kind of work with. Although he never really... looks like he doesn't have enough time at the moment to do that. So let me actually do that myself then. Oh good, they actually did plant some of the corn and other stuff too. Ah, we just don't have enough actual water jugs here to completely water the crops one way or the other, so... I don't think the crops will die if they aren't watered, they just don't grow. So you might have to, until you actually talk to them more. What do we do next? Do you think we can scale up this operation? Having more food is always nice, but you need to consider diversity of the crops. I would go for different species. Might as well mix up different recipes. Why don't we try farming carrots, onions, and corn for now? Aim to have 4 crops of each. What do you think? Sounds good. Let's do it. Well, partially you've already done that, which is good. Let's talk to the other people while we're at it. Feeling we're going to build this place up, we'll need different kinds of machines. Seems that the table saw I brought was really useful, no? Indeed. That's what I mean. We have been stuck without the right equipment. Buying machines from the market would be impossible. You managed to build that planer, right? Could you show me how to build machines? How to help build machines? You want to build them yourself? Why not? No offense, but I thought you just like giving orders. Maybe that was me at some point, but I want to leave that behind. Show me how to do what you do. Alright, I will. Could build a machine workbench. Place we can get to use build machines. On it. Alright, let's talk to the other guy here, too. How come you ended up here? Looks like you're someone who could get a fancy job out there. So do you with those skills. I guess I could. Guess I was never planning to stay until I saw what was going on here. In my case, it was more a form of protest. My family lives in a gated community with 24/7 security, afraid of everything that's going on in the world. I got tired of arguing with my father about how can we make a difference, so I decided to come here. I haven't talked to them since. Sounds like a drastic change. You don't miss them? Try not to think about them. I need to prove to them that there is some purpose here, you know? Something more than just earning money by exploiting people around you. Damn straight, brother. Damn straight. Guess I'm looking for that too. Damn, this game got some life lessons in it. Oh, isn't that great? Alright, let me go ahead and double check. So let's go up the research tree. So she finished crafting 1. Let's get research 1 so we can actually expand that further. So we're supposed to be building a machine workbench, which requires a bunch of tools. Let me load all that we have here. We need shaped steel pipes, which is going to require a pipe bender. So I need 1 screw and 1 welding tool, which I'm not sure if I have. I'm going to have to buy that probably. Shop. Electronic tools, welding tools. So we'll buy 1 of those. And then, crap, what was the other one that we needed? A vice, maybe? I can't remember. Ah, crap. We're going to have to wait till the morning. Curses. Let's pack that up. Go ahead and pass out. Now, one thing that I'm actually not sure of, which I'm going to test that for today, and then that's going to be the end of it, I think, for now. Let's try and skip this here. So we'll do one last little bit, and then we're going to call that for now, and that'll be the entirety of this kind of first look. Because I just want to experiment and test to see if putting their tents on top of just a simple floor is enough to basically take care of the so-and-so is cold thing, which is a bit of an issue here. Okay. Let's put this right here. Try and get this on the edge as much as possible. Huh. Oh, I see, because that's in the way. Alright, let's put this a little bit more back then, we'll see. Okay, let's try grabbing somebody's tent like this. So the owner of that one is Ash. Let me actually try packing up my tent. We'll slap that on here and see if maybe, just maybe, that makes any kind of difference in the world. Let's put Ash on there. Alright. So I could continue with a lot of the story here where... Let me double check and see what this requires, just so we can get that done. So we need the pipe bender to start with here. So I need screws, electronic wire, which I do have. Interesting. I feel like that using the collect all and load all might actually be causing a glitch, which is making the items disappear, but I could be wrong. I might have just left them in here, because I could have swore I had a lot of electric wire, and now I don't. I might have just put it somewhere, but I'm like, wait a minute. This is weird. But I'm not 100% sure. But let's just go ahead and deposit that there. I need to buy some screws. Go ahead and buy some of those. Now, one thing as well is they do not want to be near... Let me actually just, load that in there. Let's build the pipe bender. Yeah, they don't want to be living next to this. Like, living next to the machines is not something that they want. So we're going to try and avoid that as much as possible. Alright, so we need shaped steel pipes is what we need for this. So interact with this, collect all. Let's get some of these done so we can build this sucker up. And maybe from there we might be able to build all the workbenches that I was not able to build as of yet. And then that'll be it for today for that. And 20, because this is probably already pushing over an hour, and I don't want to go too crazy if I can for that. Load all. So I'm missing welding tools, which I had. Unless this also required welding tools. That's probably why. That also required the welding tools. So I need welding tools, a vise, and then 40 raw panel. Okay. Alright, I'm going to have to sell some stuff. Apparently I can't sell that. Can't sell the wall modules. Okay then. Apparently I'm going to have to build some chairs here quickly. Although one thing that he did say was also valuable was motors. So I could also do that quickly too. Yeah, let's do that quickly so I can get that kind of just done and over with. Hopefully that'll net me enough money that I can... There we go. Sell. There we go. Yeah, they won't accept that at all, regardless. Okay. So that got me just enough to buy the vise. Perfect. I need 40 raw panels, so let's just go ahead and take some off. Oops. I meant to take half of it off of there. Go ahead and build that up, and we got ourselves the machine workbench. Alright, let's go ahead and shift R. Rotate that sucker, slap it down. Huzzah! The production paths achievement unlocked. So yes, now we have access to the table saw, we have access to the bandsaw, drill press, bench grinder, CNC machine, gas generator. So a lot of the heavy stuff, but that still didn't give us access to being able to make like a cooking table. Or the bike, music stand, a cart. See, that didn't give us 100% access to all of the stuff that I'm looking for at the moment. That's it, we did it, nice work. The machine workbench will be really useful. I'd like to spend some time learning how this all works. Is there areas of research that I should be looking into? Build machines, study engineering. Housewife to squatter to engineer, I like that. Housewife? Long story, I'll share it with you at some point. Right now, I have some books to read. New mission, a new career path. Build and install a compost station. Again, I have compost station unlocked, but I still can't make the compost station because I don't know where it's in the tree. Research Engineering 101. Which I thought we actually did. Did we not do that already? Did we not do Engineering 101? Aha, here we go. Alright, so we'll have to research that later, but there's one last thing that I want to do before calling it for today. And that's obviously clearing away the kind of debris here, which will take oh god, it's going to take a while, just to see what's back here. And, damn, this is definitely going to take a while. So this might take me to the end of today, which will also show me whether or not putting their tents, simply just putting their tents on top of the platform is enough to stop them from being cold for now. Don't know if that's the case, but we're going to find out. It's my hope and dream that that's the case. Also, I did forget to, now that I remember here, to put all of the water away there so he can work on that later. Oh, we also get some basic panels from that, which is nice. Let's keep clearing this away. Keep on shoveling on. Keep on shoveling on. Oh, yeah. But yes, all in all, this is definitely a good game. I feel like there's not an... It doesn't explain things enough in some cases. Like, example again, I've unlocked the... I've researched the technology to make use of, you know, this type of workbench. And yet, every other workbench I look in, I can't construct that workbench. So I'm then left in the position of having to craft every other possible workbench and research every other possible technology to, you know, maybe unlock that workbench, because I just can't find it anywhere and figure out exactly where that is. So I think that is a bit of an issue with design a little bit. Kind of like just for cooking. Like, we've already got farming, and I'm sure what's going to happen essentially is that even though you can research the technology ahead of time, if you're playing story mode, those workbenches and such are probably locked behind the story. So until you progress the story further and they get to the point where they're like, hey, we should really build a cooking bench, then it doesn't necessarily show up. Now, I'm not 100% on that, but that's what it feels like to me. And holy crap, this is really taking a long time. I would have much preferred to cut this part out, but you know what? I'm not even 100% sure we're going to get through this before nighttime. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm waiting till nighttime so we can see if that made a difference, then I wouldn't be bloody doing this. But yes. Oh god, yeah, no, we're already almost at the fort. This is going to be an hour-and-a-half long video. Fuck. And that was regardless of all my attempts to, you know, compress things down as much as possible. I definitely, yeah, no, just typical Silver shenanigans, you know. I try to shorten things and it just ends up being ridiculously long as always. What can you do? What can you do? I kind of wish I could just hold space or something and speed up time. This is definitely where the research that speeds up your digging would be very useful. Come on, I just want to see what's on the other side. Show me the money. Show me the money. I want this rubble removed out of here. Put your back into it, girl. I like how she also has like this whole like tool belt and everything that she brought with her too. So she not only managed to bring the table saw, which is the only thing she was really able to bring, but she was also able to at least bring some basic tools with her, which is nice. Alright. We are already at 7 p.m., so we are getting to the point of no return here. We might just barely be able to actually get this thing dug out in time. Now, so far as I know, these items that I'm digging up here will not just disappear. They're not going to get cleared off the screen if there's too many objects. They might at some point, but I have, as of yet, never seen them just disappear. Even if I were to, like, pass out for the day, they would still be there. So you don't have to worry too much about, you know, oh no, I need to stop and collect things before they vanish. Like is the case in some games, which is understandable for a performance perspective, but I guess these are not really having that much of an impact on the performance. Of course, if I were to have, you know, like dig up every single pile and not pick up anything, I imagine that would have some effect on performance, but that's not really something I'm going to do there, obviously. Alright, we're already at 8 p.m. and we're almost done with the dig. We are racing against the clock here. The great dig is almost complete. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Beat the clock. Go, 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 go. Maximum dig. Maximum power. Come on. It's 8:23. You can do it. 25. You got 30 minutes. Come on. Push. Push to that finish line. You can do it. And we freaking did it. Oh, finally. Holy crap, that took all bloody day. So we have another large area here that opened up to us. Some old computers. Some tools. We got a... Oh, great. I could have saved $300. We got a couple of trees in the way here. I don't know if I can remove those. We have 2 alpha balcony. And we also found a blueprint for... What was the other thing? We've got a alpha hanging balcony. Okay, good. Alright, so let's go ahead and... No one's the owner for this. Let's pass out and let's find out if putting her on that slab of wood was enough to keep her from getting cold. And then that's where we're going to end things there for today. And again, hold skip just does not... It should just skip that whole cutscene. Not just slowly, you know, speed up time a little bit for one section of it. Alright, let's see here. Plants are ready for harvest. A lot of plants are ready for harvest. More plants are ready for harvest. Ash is still cold. So even though I put it on here, that's not enough at the moment to make her not cold. So I will probably have to build an actual proper bed chamber for that to happen. But that's for another time. So let's go ahead and save things up there for now. Save game. Let's go back to the main menu for now. So yes, that was Commonhood. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that somewhat lengthy first look. If the game interests you, feel free to hop on in and check it out. There is even a multiplayer, which is interesting. So I can host a lobby, load a lobby, check the friends list, and hop in with other people. Let's just straight up host a lobby for now, just to take a look. Oh, wow. Interesting. So the multiplayer, basically, as far as I can tell here, allows you to put together... I'm assuming I just have a bunch of stuff in my inventory here, but let's take a look around. Put together, like, various structures, it looks like. Oh, yeah, there's a stockpile. So, yeah, the multiplayer is essentially just building structures, and then each of you can kind of save the structures to then port them into your game. So it's kind of co-op building, and then taking that and porting it into the actual game. I like that. This is nice. Unfortunately, we can't really copy this stuff right here, but still, that is nice. So you can build with friends, and then you can both take your design and kind of port it into the game or the sandbox mode. And again, if I go straight sandbox mode, I'm guessing it's going to pop me right in the same thing. Oh god. Oh god, the world is blank. So yeah, again, sandbox mode. So everyone's kind of here. We've got... Oh, apparently there's a username and login. So I'm assuming that's possibly how you access some blueprints. Oh. Beta Fab Room blueprints. We got different... Oh, there's actually some... I wonder if I can actually carry these blueprints into the main game now that I found them here. That's possible. Planet things, you have access to infinite materials from that stockpile. Do you think you can handle it? Call it the Creative Sandbox. You can try out things safely. You might be able to come up with ideas or blueprints to use in your factory. Here you have access to more resources. Let me get you started with some more advanced constructions. Red shipping container behind you contains an infinite supply of machines. Trying the robot arm help you automate the production of the blueprints. Why don't you build 10 of those tables, see if you can automate them. Indeed. So essentially, and actually it's nice that you actually have, eventually it looks like we're going to have a truck bed here that we can then maybe build some kind of storage unit on. But yeah, so here you can be creative, you can build stuff and then just port those blueprints into the main game and kind of go from there. So yeah, that's nice too. Let's go ahead and pop back to the main menu though. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this preview of Commonhood. It releases tomorrow on the 10th. So if you liked it, feel free to check it out. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more of this, feel free to comment down below and let me know. And as always, if you enjoy the video, like the video. If you didn't, dislike it. And subscribe if you wish. If you don't, have a fantastic day either way. And I will see you all next time. Till then, have a great one.